the Heart Crane poem from which Appalachian Spring title is drawn, he has just said, I gained the ledge, right? And that idea of that, bringing that whole journey up to the precipice and then looking out on the expanse ahead of you. That's where I placed myself for this piece, like in writing and in reflecting. That's where I placed myself. And so I loved this idea of ways that we as in humanity have looked backward to look forward, like this Big Bang theory. So the second movement is quoting the New York Times 1961 article about how the Big Bang theory looks like it's it, right? How it disproves this continuous creation thing, and also the human genome, right? The mapping of the human genome, this eternal DNA strand that is shared, is something that we now use the mapping of it to look toward the future, and that's the fourth new movement is called Human Genome. But for me, there was nothing that looked forward more than the voices of children. So I interviewed two friends, two 11-year-old friends, and we had, it was just probably the most nourishing time for me toward a project that I've had in a minute, because I got to just carve out space to ask them questions and sit and listen and let them lead for expansive moments, and talk about what are you looking forward to, and to hear from Lark Wright that about her trip, and about how she's going to England, and I just that's the movement where I cry, because I know this little girl, and because I know that her grandma died unexpectedly last year, and they're going to meet her grandma's old friend out of a way to connect, so it's joyful and it's rooted in a life, and that's really it's really where I wanted to be. It's where I always want to be. I want to be looking at the joy and how it's rooted to the full range of what we live as people. That's what we do in the theater, right? It's like, come on, draw your chair up close to the edge of the precipice, and I'll tell you a story. Like, that gives me shivers, this idea of how do we start. It's just, that's what we do, and that's what we do as musicians, right? When we have an event, it's not about any one thing or one person. In my mind, those are the ones that impact me in an ongoing way. Is they're about us coming together to make something that's bigger than any one of us, and then we go away, and it's ephemeral what we do, but it's eternal. So that's kind of what the piece is about. So I really wanted to, for myself, pointedly allow us to inhabit that moment. Here I have little moments of like, what if this piece weren't here? I love this. I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear this thing come to life with you all. So thank you. Thanks for the yes, Maria. Or the floating of ideas and sharing of ideas. I'm so glad to be part of this celebration with you all.